He was the American dream come true, a self-made teenage millionaire who founded a carpet-cleaning empire. He was featured on Oprah, Fortune, and Wall Street Journal. He was Barry Minkow, and he was a fraud. This is the story of how he pulled off one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in history, how he became a pastor and a fraud investigator, and how he ended up back in prison for more crimes. This is the story of Barry Minkow, the king of the con. Welcome to Clever Crooks, the channel where we explore the most fascinating and notorious cases of fraud, deception, and crime. Today, we're going to dive into the incredible life of Barry Minkow, one of the most prolific con artists of all time. How did he fool everyone from his family and friends to the media and the investors? How did he manage to reinvent himself as a man of God and a crusader against fraud? And how did he end up betraying his own church and his own followers? Stay tuned to find out. Barry Minkow was born in 1966 in Inglewood, California, to a Jewish family. He was a smart and charismatic kid, but he also had a rebellious streak. He started working as a telemarketer for a carpet cleaning company when he was 9 years old, and learned the tricks of the trade. When he was 16, he decided to start his own business, ZZZZ Best, in his parents' garage. He hired some friends and bought some equipment with borrowed money. He had a vision of becoming rich and famous by providing the best carpet cleaning service in town. But soon, he realized that carpet cleaning was not as profitable as he hoped. He faced many challenges, such as customer complaints, supplier demands, and cash flow problems. He also had trouble opening bank accounts and getting loans because he was underage. He was desperate for money, and he resorted to illegal means to keep his business afloat. He started kiting checks, stealing jewelry from his grandmother, staging break-ins at his offices, and running up fraudulent credit card charges. But soon, he realized that carpet cleaning was not as profitable as he hoped. He faced many challenges, such as customer complaints, supplier demands, and cash flow problems. He also had trouble opening bank accounts and getting loans because he was underage. He was desperate for money, and he resorted to illegal means to keep his business afloat. He started kiting checks, stealing jewelry from his grandmother, staging break-ins at his offices, and running up fraudulent credit card charges. But these petty crimes were not enough for Barry Minkow. He wanted more. He wanted to expand his business beyond carpet cleaning. He wanted to enter the lucrative field of insurance restoration, which involved repairing buildings damaged by fire, flood, or other disasters. But there was a problem. He had no experience or expertise in this area. So he came up with a brilliant solution: he would fake it. Barry Minkow created a web of lies to convince investors that ZZZZ Best was doing millions of dollars worth of restoration contracts all over the country. He forged documents, fabricated references, hired actors, rented offices, and staged scenes to make it look like he had real projects going on. He even paid off some mobsters to help him secure some fake contracts. He used the money from new investors to pay off old investors, creating a classic Ponzi scheme. He also used some of the money to fund his lavish lifestyle. He bought expensive cars, clothes, jewelry, and houses. He hired bodyguards and celebrities to hang out with him. He dated models and actresses. He donated money to charities and politicians. He was living the high life. He also used his charm and charisma to attract media attention. He appeared on TV shows like Oprah, 60 Minutes, and Good Morning America. He was featured on magazines like Fortune, Forbes, and Wall Street Journal. He was hailed as a young genius, a role model, and a success story. He was Barry Minkow, and he was a star. But his fame also brought scrutiny. Some journalists, analysts, and regulators started to question his claims and numbers. They noticed some discrepancies and red flags in his financial statements and business operations. They tried to verify his contracts and references, but they were met with resistance and deception. They smelled something fishy, and they were determined to find out the truth. Before we get into the downfall of the King of Con and his rise yet again, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, especially if you would love to see and hear the stories of the clever crooks that left the world in shock. Barry Minkow's house of cards began to collapse in 1987, when he tried to take ZZZZ Best public. He hired an accounting firm to audit his books, but he couldn't hide his fraud from them. He tried to bribe them, threaten them, and fool them, but they didn't buy it. They uncovered his fake contracts, his fake invoices, his fake bank accounts, and his fake customers. They realized that ZZZZ Best was a sham. They reported their findings to the authorities, who launched an investigation into ZZZZ Best. They raided Barry Minkow's offices and homes, seizing his records and assets. They interviewed his employees and associates, many of whom confessed or cooperated. They exposed his lies and crimes to the public. They arrested him and charged him with multiple counts of fraud, racketeering, money laundering, tax evasion, and more. Barry Minkow's empire crumbled. ZZZZ Best went bankrupt, leaving thousands of investors and creditors with losses totaling over $100 million. Barry Minkow's reputation was ruined. He was vilified by the media, the public, and even his own family and friends. He was facing decades in prison. He was Barry Minkow, and he was a failure. But Barry Minkow was not done yet. He still had one more trick up his sleeve. He found religion. While in prison, he converted from Judaism to Christianity. He claimed that he had a spiritual awakening, that he regretted his sins, that he wanted to make amends. He became a model inmate, earning a college degree and writing a book about his life. He also cooperated with the authorities, testifying against his former partners in crime and helping them recover some of the stolen money. His cooperation paid off. He was granted an early release in 1995, after serving only 7.5 years of his 25-year sentence. He was given a second chance at life, and he vowed to use it for good. He became a pastor at the Community Bible Church in San Diego, where he preached about ethics and morality. He also became a fraud investigator for the Fraud Discovery Institute, where he used his insider knowledge to expose corporate frauds and scams. He again attracted media attention, but this time for positive reasons. He appeared on TV shows like 2020, Dateline NBC, and The Today Show. He was featured on magazines like Time, Newsweek, and Businessweek. He was praised as a reformed man, a redeemed man, and a hero man. He was Barry Minkow, and he was back. But Barry Minkow's redemption was too good to be true. It turned out that he was still a conman at heart. He had not changed, he had only changed his methods. While he was preaching and investigating frauds, he was also committing new frauds of his own. He embezzled over $3 million from his church by forging signatures, creating fake invoices, and diverting funds to his personal accounts. He also engaged in insider trading, libel, and extortion by spreading false information about companies he targeted for investigation. He was caught by the authorities, who launched a new investigation into his activities. They uncovered his new crimes and confronted him with the evidence. They arrested him and charged him with multiple counts of fraud, conspiracy, money laundering, tax evasion, and more. Barry Minkow's second empire crumbled. He was sued by his church, his victims, and his targets. He was ordered to pay over $600 million in restitution and damages. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison for his church fraud, and another 5 years for his stock fraud. He was facing a total of 15 years behind bars. He was Barry Minkow, and he was a repeat offender. Barry Minkow is one of the most notorious con artists of all time. He fooled everyone from his family and friends to the media and the investors. He stole over $600 million from thousands of people. He lived a life of lies, luxury, and crime. He pretended to be a man of God and a man of justice, but he was really a man of greed and evil. He is currently serving his prison term in a federal facility in Florida, where he is expected to be released in 2027. What do you think of Barry Minkow's story? Do you think he deserves another chance? Do you think he will ever change? Do you think he will ever stop conning people? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching this episode of Clever Crooks. If you liked this video, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get notified when we upload new videos. We upload new videos every week, so stay tuned for more amazing stories of fraud, deception, and crime. This is Clever Crooks, signing off.